What's going on, everybody? It's PapaStones coming back with another video. So today we got a new one for you. We're going to be talking about the top 10 cards in all of Star Wars Unlimited history so far. Comment down below beforehand. Let me know what you think the top 10 is going to be. If you're right, if you're wrong at the end, whatever it may be. Spoiler, there's a lot of Spark Rebellion stuff in here, but that's to be expected. Also, I just wanted to say we just hit 300 subscribers, so thank you to everybody who subscribed and who watches my stuff. It's super appreciated. You guys are awesome. Let me know if you want to see something specifically, 300 subscribers special, collection, whatever it may be. Thought about doing some challenge, winning on every deck, whatever it may be. And if you're not subscribed also, if you want to, I would appreciate it, or let me know what you would need from me to want to be subscribed to the channel, whatever it may be. We're going to jump right into this, though. First up, we got some honorable mentions, because it was hard to trim down to 10. We're going to pull them up. We got Poe Dameron. I'm going to talk about each one also. So Poe Dameron, it's a good card. It basically, I wouldn't say it put Sabine on the map. Sabine was already on the map, but this gave Sabine a super awesome card to ECL out, being able to push extra damage, being able to clear 7-8 health leaders if need be. Basically, this is the ECL target of everyone's streams, right? You can also deal with upgrades, you can discard cards. It's such a versatile card. It really makes sense. It's super good. Next up on honorables, we have Avenger. Avenger basically is the top end to all control. It has stayed that way since the beginning. Sometimes people, I guess, are playing like Devastators or the new Annihilators or whatever, but for the most part, this is the face of control, right? It's the most annoying card to deal with if you don't have a board already established. Basically, put control into the spot it is and will stay that way. And then last honorable mention is DJ. Now this one's a little odd just because DJ is one of the only banned cards we have. DJ with Han Solo specifically was super oppressive, but in any other deck it was very negligible, and as a whole the card was basically just a Han Solo card. And so for that reason I kind of decided to exclude it from the top spots. But in Han Solo, if it was just a world of Han Solo, this card would be in there, but it's just not. So we're gonna move on to the actual list, though. Close that bad boy, pop this up. At number 10 we have Darth Vader. So this card currently isn't seeing a ton of play, but this card has stood the test of time. It, generally speaking, if you're playing green villainy, it's in there if you're going to the top ends, or it's trying to be in there, right? Think of Palpatine, think of Boss Green. In my personal Cad Bane green list, I have 2 of these in there. But even then, looking back to when this came out, this card was everywhere. You get good stats for the value, maybe not fantastic, but you get an ambush, and you get to search your deck for a free card, basically. This card is just insane. I think it's well deserving of a top 10 spot. The only reason it's so low is because I think it hasn't seen as much play in the recent times, but still a great card, still one to watch out for in that sense. Number 9 is my big hot take. It's Ahsoka Tano from the newest set. So the reason I have this here, it hasn't obviously really proven itself compared to the rest of the cards. This is the only jump to light speed card I have in here. It's so annoying. It's another discard for heroism. The stats are alright, but it has a force tag. We have a force set coming up. Force throw's already around. This basically, as soon as this card got released, it made its way into every yellow hero deck that was around at the time. Think Han, think Quinlan, things like that. This card will be a menace for the foreseeable future. I'd be willing to guarantee that. Next up, we have Cunning. So, Cunning at number 8. This card is insane. It probably could be higher, to be honest, but I just wasn't 100% sure. In the history of Star Wars so far, we have seen Cunning become a menace of a card. They started off relatively low, and then Double Yellow Boba came out, and this card shot up to the moon. They went to like $40. Granted, Spark was like super unavailable at the time too. But this card gave Double Yellow access to be able to basically race against other aggro decks or stall if you needed to by tapping their stuff, putting their stuff back in their hand. The +4 power really let this card shine, though. When we were in the Django meta recently, this card was a little bit worse just because of the fact they could exhaust your unit so easily. And now people are kind of, onto like bamboozles and no good to me's a little bit more heavily nowadays. So there is some risk with the +4, but if your +4 sticks, you're hitting for so much damage out of nowhere and also slowing your opponent down. This card is just insane. Next up at number 7, we have Power of the Dark Side. So, this card has been the talk of so many people's misery because Darkseid can just do the most unholy things to you if you aren't prepared for it. There are times where you're playing against Control where they've been doing their job, they've been controlling you, and you go to your leader flip and you're hoping for the best and they play a Darkseid, right? You just wasted your leader on a 3-cost removal. Into other like top end decks, they play anything above 3 cost realistically. Like if they play a 4 and up and you kill it with a Darkseid, you're getting immediate value. This card is the most hated card, I think. Maybe not, but it's definitely up there. If it was like, I'm thinking of hated cards you do not want to see, this has to be top 5. Just because this card can just put you in such a bad spot, right? It's insane. I guarantee you this card never leaves a control deck. It always stays at 3 copies. Even in non-control decks, it's worth playing because it's one-sided removal for 3 cost, right? Like, it's just too good. That's kind of the problem with it. But, yeah, that's that. Moving on. Number 6, we have Millennium Falcon. So, the thing with Falcon is this card also has just enabled a lot of, I wouldn't say aggro, but a lot of decks in general that want to go faster for the most part, just because it is a ship that comes in ready. It's low cost, it's hero. Like, think about basically every yellow hero deck right now is on Falcon. You got the Hans, you got the Quinlans, as I previously mentioned. You had it in Han and Set 3. Yellow Hero wasn't too prevalent besides that back then. I mean, you got Kazuda now. This card basically is kind of what Yellow Hero needs, because they need ways to close games. It can surprise you for damage. Sure, you have to pay 1 to keep it in play, but sometimes that's honestly kind of nice, because you can get your 3 damage in and say you're very close to the end, but if they have a removal for it, you're in a bad spot. You can put it back in your hand. If it's going to die because you traded with it, you can put it back in your hand. This card's just crazy. It's no wonder to me why it's currently the most expensive card, with Yellow Hero being one of the more dominant forces. Yeah, this is just a great card all around. But we're going to crack into the top 5. We've got Hotshot DL44 Blaster. This card basically goes into every yellow deck in any sense. The only exception was probably Django back when it was around. Even then, some of them were still on it. just because, it can't be on a spaceship. It has to be a ground unit. But this card is just insane. Sure, it's like you end up paying, like if you're comparing it to Surprise Strike or something like that, you're paying 1 extra for 1 less damage. But you got to think about the fact that this is an auto resource. You draw this, you set it in your row, right? Like, it's a guaranteed resource with value. The upgrade sticks around, so if your unit doesn't die, say Cad Bane, for instance, is a great example, I feel like, because you put this on a Cad Bane, now he has 4 attack with raid 2. It's a 2/8, right? Well, now it's a 4/8. Generally speaking, it'll stick around, so you'll probably get multiple swings off with this on. And then on top of that, this card can just close games out. You have a damage from your row, and then this card just has too much to offer, realistically. There's a reason it's in so many decks, why it's like a $15 to $20 rare. It's so versatile. I do not see a world where this card ever just stops being played until it gets rotated out, unless, like I said, you're on an all space deck. So next up, at number 4, we have Overwhelming Barrage. Realistically, for me, this is the entire reason people play Green Villainy. This card is so nuts. So you get the +2/+2, which inherently is unnecessary when you're reading the card. But then you get to deal all that damage, and you get to choose how you want to do it. So, like, there are so many times, like, especially for, like, the control players, like, if you slap a Devastator, or, like, think Piet or something like that, you slap any big capital ship, something that even has, like, 6 attack, you give it a barrage, and you get to deal 8 damage, however you choose. You can finish off units, you can ping shields, you can clear entire boards if it's on certain things, or if they're catching up. Like, this card is a menace when played in the right situations. I really think this is like the biggest selling point of Green Villain, even though they have so many great tools like Devastator, Vader, Maul, all that stuff. Every time I'm thinking Green Villain personally, I'm thinking 3 Barrage immediately. So it's a fantastic card. Next up, at number 3, we have Luke Skywalker. So this guy is realistically why people generally are in Blue Hero. It's so good for what it is, right? It does everything Blue Hero wants. It has restore. It can deal with small units on its own. It can, if something has died, it can deal with big units. It's another good 7-drop. FFG loves their 7-drops, apparently, because that's where I feel like the biggest category is. But this card, this is why I'm pretty sure, right? If you're playing Blue Hero, you have to have 3 Luke Skywalker. It don't matter. Like, unless your deck is super aggressive, right? Even then, I feel like you'd still even have the Lukes just as, like, your finisher. It just does too much. It's got fantastic stats. Like, it's insane. This card will be around, and since we have 4 sets coming out next set too, I'd be willing to bet this card still will be around. Definitely one of the best cards we've seen for Hero. I would say the best card we've seen for Hero. No debate. At number 2, it's Vigilance. Now hear me out, this one seems a bit higher. Why isn't Cunning as high, right? Cunning's good, blah, blah, blah. This card is the only card, I think, that we have seen in all of Star Wars Unlimited currently that is consistently played out of aspect. Every control deck, not even control decks, it could be like the mid-rangey decks that are on it too, but every control deck, mid-range blue deck that wants to play Vigilance will pay 6 for this card, because it's that good. Being able to deal with a unit and heal yourself, super optimal. Being able to mill your opponent if you're in that style of gameplay, super necessary. This card just has too many good options, right? The shield token even sometimes is okay. Like I've played a lot of Vigilance, and I have used every single one of these effects in multiple instances. Like, generally speaking, you're always either healing or defeating and or discarding, but there are so many times where the shield would be just like super convenient for you. This card will continue to see play as long as it's around, and I guarantee you people will continue to pay it for 6 because it is good enough to do so. Last but not least, in the number 1 spot, let me know if you guessed it. I'm super curious. It's Triple Dark Raid. So, this card, obviously, I think for me, deserves to be number 1 just because of how dominant this card was. It didn't even have that big of a stint, but it was so disgusting to play against. This, even looking back to set 2, where it wasn't as crazy, this card basically created the, what's it's called, Grand Moff Yellow list that started popping up, of the all-space Grand Moff deck. And then fast forward to set 3, when we're playing Jango Fett and like Boba Red, technically in the very, very beginning. This card starts to get crazy, right? Like, you start to be able to grab some good spaceships, you start to be able to grab your Ruthless Raiders, your Fire Sprays, whatever it may be, do broken things, right? It's okay, it's not too crazy, but still good enough, right? Like, it made certain decks viable in a sense. Then you fast forward to set 4, before this card's banned, and this card is everywhere. If you're not playing a deck that is running Triple Dark Raid, you're not trying the most optimal way to win set event. You get so many good cards that you get to play for a reduction at 5 cost. The card comes in ready, and then there's so many good when played effects also that when it comes back to your hand, it's not even a drawback. Like, sure, like, when you read this card on rip, it's a loss of tempo, right? You get a card for free, sure, you gotta do a little damage maybe, but then you just put it back to your hand, so you technically didn't do anything. But you get so many, like I said, so many good when played effects. A cheap card, you get it from your deck, so it doesn't come from your hand. You get it back to your hand. This card was oppressive. It is oppressive. I cannot see a world where this card ever makes it off of the banned or suspended list, and I think it is well deserving of the number 1 spot. But that is my list for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. If you liked the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know if you think I missed any, what you think of the ratings, or if you think I'm just way off. Whatever it may be. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.